Hello everybody and welcome back to the Fortress of Solitude. Today we're going to be talking about Absolute Wonder Woman issue 6 by Kelly Thompson, Mattia D. Illis and Dustin Nguyen. After a huge action-packed opening arc, Kelly Thompson slows things down for a quick two-parter with artist Mattia D. Illis, which sees Wonder Woman pulled into the throne room of Hades, who was the big blue hand that grabbed her at the end of the last issue. Hades tells Diana that she isn't meant to be leaving the underworld, but before he can rightfully punish her, he has her disarm herself of all her weapons. Now this is a bit of a trope here. We see it all the time in films where a character is asked to hand over any weapons, and it's like 5-10 minutes of them pulling all sorts of weapons out of every crevice and nook and cranny. Wonder Woman does just that, as everything she has on her person is a weapon, and it gives artist Mattia D. Illis a chance to really let their talent shine. Mattia is an artist who I've only seen a handful of times. I've seen him most recently in the Absolute Power backup, where he was writing about like Wonder Woman and Big Barda and all that, assembling a team, and their work is just immaculate. It's just fantastic every single time. Just the colors, the details, everything about it just works, which is probably why they only work on, from what I've seen, short runs like this, a two-parter, because I imagine it takes quite a long time to do this type of artwork with this type of skill and detail. Diana, while using the wit her mother bestowed her, disarms herself, even emptying her bag of holding of the 3 lassos and her giant buster sword. Hades wants to see the red lasso, but when his servant goes to grab it from Wonder Woman, it violently consumes the blue-flamed servant, turning him into nothing. So Hades seems rather interested in the nemesis lasso and what it can do, and I like that he can't really understand why Wonder Woman would ever need such a weapon. Diana, of course, has a rather blunt answer. She lives in hell, everything there tries to kill her and her mother, so they need weapons to defend themselves. I do really like Diana's no-nonsense approach. She can have fun and snipe with the odd razor-sharp remark and comeback, as seen in the previous sequence before this one when Hades mentioned that he knows what cartoons are. But she is really great at getting down to business and being, a down-to-business hero. Hades asks what the lasso is made from, and Diana tells him that Cersei once in a while made her go and gather things like the feather of a firebird or the bones of an ancient ocean serpent. Just very dangerous things really, all which were used in her witchcraft. And one time she sent Diana to see Prometheus, and this is where our story begins, as it's a flashback episode more or less. Sometime before, Diana scales Mount Prometheus, and holy shit, Mattia just blows us away with the art here as Diana reaches the summit, comes in contact with the Titan Prometheus chained to the mountain. Just the scale he captures in this one image spread is just awesome. It reminds me of stuff we'd see in the recent God of War games. Just like the scale that game captured of these mythical characters was really damn good, and here we get to see that as well. It also reminds me of stuff like Assad Ribick's work over in the Thor book with Jason Aaron, and as well as stuff we've seen in Conan the Barbarian books. Just the scale of this fantasy world. Wonder Woman confronts the giant, offering up a bit of blood on her axe as a blessing in hopes that it will be able to strike true and break the chains binding Prometheus to the mountain. The axe, thanks to being coated in her blood, becomes enchanted, and she throws it at the chains, smashing them to bits. She apologizes to Prometheus though, since she can't free him permanently, but merely give him some respite from his pain. Now this is the compassionate Wonder Woman Thompson has been building up for the last 5 issues, and the kindness and friendliness she shows to others is often returned, since it seems to be something that's very lacking in this world. And it makes sense. The Absolute Universe was created by Darkseid. He is not a friendly person. So I like that when Diana is compassionate and shows compassion to people, people kind of have like this, wait, what? Why is this person doing this? And they find they want to do that as well. Hence what we've seen with like Steve Trevor, Etta Candy, Barbara Ann Minerva, all these people who want to actively help Diana after meeting her and realizing that she is a good person. Her aptitude for bonding with animals comes in handy here as well, as she ends up meeting with Aetos, the bird that famously eats Prometheus's liver over and over. Diana asks if the eagle and his friends can refrain from doing that, teaching it that even the gods are sometimes wrong, and if she helps Diana out, she will have her friendship forever. I like the little connection Diana and Prometheus have here, as Prometheus seems to know Cersei and actually even talks about her with a type of fondness. He's glad that she survived being trapped in hell. Not only that, that she's passed her knowledge on to someone else like Diana, someone who actively deserves it. Thanks to helping the Titan, he asks what she requires of him, and Diana hopes that she could get a vial of his blood, so she and Cersei can use it to turn into a weapon of fire and justice that will be used to protect humanity. People Prometheus was the champion of, and the people he was meant to bring fire to. Prometheus not only offers his blood, but also his flesh too, telling Diana to cut the end of his giant finger off and take it. Diana's humbleness shows itself as she doesn't think she's worthy of such gifts, but Prometheus reveals that is exactly what she is worth, knowing full well Cersei can see the future and it's full of danger, which his blood and flesh can help her overcome. So she is definitely due it. So far, I'm really liking the depiction of the Pantheon, or like their related characters in the Absolute Universe, since a lot of the times people just write the gods and their respective sidekicks and people related to them as just irredeemable pricks. And while most of the time that's actually quite an accurate depiction of them, I quite like this idea that they have a bit more layers here where not all of them are bad, and this is kind of like Diana realizing that, where she's only seen the bad in these gods, and now she's come across one here in Prometheus who, while he's not a god, he's a titan, he's in that same realm, but he's very laid back and very kind of chill almost, especially for someone who's like constantly tortured 24/7. Thompson has made them feel like normal everyday people that inhabit this world, because we're in Diana's world. This isn't, Gotham or Metropolis. This is, the more fantastical side of this universe. And I like that the people are just being treated like normal people here, even though they're gods. Diana ends up cutting the end of the Titan's finger off, taking a small piece of his flesh and a giant vial of blood with her, saying a prayer over them in hopes that the blood and flesh will help her in her travels. His blood and flesh aren't the only gifts Prometheus gives Diana, as he uses his blood to call forth Pegasus, rebirthing the winged skeleton horse that is now born from his own blood and not Zeus's, as he's more than happy to spit in the face of Zeus, seeing as that he's been captured by Zeus and tortured, so what else can the villain possibly do to him? Diana helping out people who have been wronged by the gods and bringing them together to fight against their injustices is so cool, and it seems to be a running theme throughout this series so far. They fought the Tetracide, which I guess you could say is probably sent by a god. It wasn't really made clear. It was kind of like a god-like being. And she helped the people of Gateway City, and now obviously we're seeing her helping Prometheus and doing right by what Zeus has done to this person. In the present, Diana, who knows that some gods can be good, is reminded that a majority actually aren't, like Hades, who knows the nemesis lasso is made from more than just Prometheus, sensing basilisk venom in it as well, something which surprises even the Lord of Hell, as it implies that Diana killed the last basilisk. Hades' first thought here is that she did it for sport or for the trophy, just to say that she could, but Diana really killed it because the giant snake was soaked in the blood of the innocent. Diana reveals that Zeus, angered that Diana was still alive, sent the snake after her, but she learned of it before the snake could mobilize, so she ended up confronting it in its own lair. I love getting these little vignettes of Diana's past quests and how it all feels very familiar, like this is all stuff we've seen countless times before in fantasy books and movies and TV. The hero's got to go on the quest to find the item that will help them later on in their mission. And it's exciting to see how Thompson tackles such tropey material, since she's just making it so much interesting, because it's a character we've seen this stuff done with before, but she's doing it in a completely different way than what we've seen, because this Diana, obviously has access to magic, uses it very frequently, more so than actual weapons. And that's exactly what we see here with how she deals with the snake, since Diana can't look at the snake, being that a look from it is lethal. If you've seen the Harry Potter films, you get turned into stone, you get petrified sort of thing. But she ends up blinding herself with magic, entering the cave completely blind. She's going in blind. What's interesting is that this isn't some big fight where all she does is, fight it with her axe and sword. She ends up actually employing her magical skills even more, having crafted essentially a stink bomb to mess with the snake's keen sense of smell and actually enhance it, driving the creature into an uncontrollable frenzy, being it can't bring its sense of smell and taste under control, and it's annoying it way too much. Since she also removed her sense of smell along with her sight, Diana isn't affected by the stink bomb, and is able to charge the thrashing snake, slicing its head clean off with one strike. Diana's compassion also kind of shows itself a little bit for the basilisk, as it was cleanly killed, and I'm getting the impression that the snake, it's not its fault that it was trying to hunt down Diana, like it was just going off of orders from Zeus, or Zeus was like making it do this, and so Diana kind of freed it from Zeus's servitude by killing it. Hades isn't too impressed and doesn't even believe Diana was able to actually do most of this stuff, and reveals that he has captured Cersei, holding her in chains above the throne, revealing that he knows that she is Wonder Woman's weakness. Now, I kind of like this idea that Hades just doesn't believe Diana at all about her quests, and I get there's like this vague veil of like sexism there, like Hades, the Lord of Hell, doesn't believe that a woman could ever slay the basilisk or climb Mount Prometheus unaided to seek out Prometheus himself. He doesn't believe that she could do all this, and I do get there's this air of sexism in that, where how a woman could not do that sort of thing in this world. So I like that idea, and I also like how kind of playful he is with it, where it's like just kind of like brushing it to the side, like yeah, that doesn't really matter. Here's Cersei, I have your one weakness, so everything you've told me, all your exploits, kind of matter for naught when I have what is essentially your Alfred captured here. Now, Diana's story doesn't end there, as Thompson teams with artist Dustin Nguyen to tell us two little vignettes of Diana's past as a child, seeing her first transmogrification spell, where Diana focuses on a demon dragon and actually turns it into a beautiful bird, much to the chagrin of Cersei, who says that she wasn't meant to do that and she was meant to turn it into something more deadly and more evil, I guess you could say. But Diana reveals that she could hear what the demon dragon wanted to be, and she wanted to make him happy, so she turned him into a beautiful phoenix bird. The next is Diana helping her little monster friends escape the jaws of a giant worm creature. It's all very simple, they're all found alive. Diana beats up this big monster and it looks like it's got a sore head. It's very nice little vignettes, very cute, like cartoony sort of vignettes here, and really nice look at Diana's childhood and how she's always been a person who finds the good in things, even ugly hell monsters. Absolute Wonder Woman issue 6 was another great issue that calms things down after the fast-paced, action-packed 5-issue arc, and explores some of Diana's early quests to gain some of the mythical equipment she's been using as Wonder Woman. Thompson also continues to explore Diana's drive to find the good in the world from the people and even the gods in it, in some really interesting ways, and ways that you wouldn't usually expect. And now with Hades, a major god, getting involved directly in Diana's story, I can't wait to see what happens next. I can't wait to see if we get to finally see Zeus and what his role in this story is. Some very exciting things coming for Absolute Wonder Woman, I think, and I just cannot wait. I'm going to give this issue a 9 out of 10.